All right, everyone. You did it. You joined me again. I can't believe that it's happened because I've been doing this podcast or live stream for the last week and a half. And every day it seems more and more people are tuning in to experience the horror of me talking in front of a camera. I don't know. Hopefully, you're getting something really good out of it. I mean, I know that I am. I am in Christchurch, New Zealand still, and that is far, far away, probably from where you are. I am. It is only 8 o'clock in the morning here, but it's Friday. So you know what I like to say about getting the news ahead of time. I'm a full day ahead of the news, so excellent. And also, it is fall here. It is not spring. If you're in the northern hemisphere, which a lot of you are, you're probably saying, "Oh, yeah, spring is here now." Well, not here. Here, it's actually getting into almost winter, and so it's cold and rainy. Although, yesterday was kind of nice, so I'm not complaining. The weather's pretty good. I'd love to know where you are. One of my favorite things about doing a live stream event is that I get to see where all of the commenters are. So, the chatters, please let me know where you are right now. And our question for today is going to be a really interesting episode, or whatever it is that you call live streaming, because I've got a couple of great topics to discuss. But one of the ones is, what is killing customer service? I teased this in my newsletter that went out yesterday, and I would love to know from you what you think is killing customer service right now. Is it corporate greed? Is it other customers that are doing it? Is it artificial intelligence? I would love to get your responses. Before we get into all that, though, I wanted to say that I had an interview with Herb Weisbaum, my good friend, who does the Consumerpedia podcast. And if you're on Twitter and you're subscribed or you're following me, you can see a link to Herb's podcast about the summer travel season. It's really fascinating. And Herb did such a good job of doing an interview and making me sound intelligent, because, sometimes I tend to ramble a little bit, as you know. And so their editors did a really nice job of all that. We got some comments already. Excellent. So Not Spring here says, Christine. Hey, Christine, I'm glad you joined me again. Not Spring, very cold and rainy here in Baltimore. Yes, well, that's Baltimore for you. I used to live in Annapolis, actually. I lived in Annapolis for 4 years and loved it there, but sometimes the weather is kind of, iffy. It's Washington, D.C. area. It's sometimes you get really hot and sometimes it does not. It's kind of like, right now it's probably just rainy and cold. Yeah, Philip. Okay, now we're jumping over to our other topic. Yes. Well, let's go there then. But although I would love to know, if you are tuning in and you're watching this live, I'd love to know where you are, first of all, and then also, what do you think is killing customer service? Because obviously, customer service, we're having some problems now, and not to go too much into this here, but customer service has really suffered. As you probably know, the airline industry had the second most complaints in history in 2022, last year. It took the DOT, the Department of Transportation, it took them 3 months to collate all of the complaints and to finally report them, which just goes to show that there were lots and lots of complaints, a lot of very unhappy people. So let's go right then to the question, which is, what is killing customer service? I have some emails that I've received from you, and I'm going to get to those in a second. But Philip, I don't know where you are, Philip, but you say, when a VP stated it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. Okay. Was that American Airlines that you were talking to, a VP over there? I'm kidding. If you're from American Airlines, please don't sue me. Don't cancel me. No, I have seen that actually happen when someone high up is basically, just maybe in an unguarded moment is saying something like that. That's kind of really ridiculous. Let's do some more places. Christine says, home is in Denver. Miss Denver. I would too. Denver is actually really nice. Then we've got Eric from Atlanta, Georgia. Eric, hey, how you doing? Maureen in San Francisco. Hello, Maureen. Nice to see you again. Then, yes, Eric, I meant to say no service. Actually, that's true. In some cases, we're not really getting much service at all. And I'm not just talking really about travel. I'm talking about, overall, most of corporate America has gone this way, where everything is automated now. I've got a big story about automation coming up. where it's just nothing. You're talking to a chat GPT or something like that. Phillips in New England, thank you for letting me know about that. Sam, hey, Sam, good to see you. Sam says, I was always told to work as if you own the business, and that sense of pride is gone. That's absolutely true, Sam. I have seen that myself, not just in the United States, but outside the country, where people are just punching their time cards, and for them, it doesn't really matter what they're doing. They don't have any sense of pride in it. And I don't know. I think that I don't know when that went away, but definitely it's not here anymore. Hey, Chris, this is from a Facebook user. 2 things are killing customer service. Number 1, automation with bots. Absolutely. I'm going to get into that in just a second. You are completely correct. Bots are definitely killing AI, ChatGPT, et cetera, and eliminating human participation and outsourcing it overseas. Okay. So the AI and bots, I'll have a little bit more on that in a minute, but the whole outsourcing it overseas thing is absolutely ridiculous. We had a big discussion in our newsletter about not being able to understand agents when you call because they don't speak English. I have no problem with someone who doesn't speak English. Obviously, I travel around the world a lot, and I meet people, and we have to communicate using hand gestures. But if you're going to get a job in customer service, it seems to me that you should be able to speak that language fluently and be understood. And some people actually speak the language fluently, but they can't be understood. And this is a really weird phenomenon, but I know this from working with some folks in other countries, is that you actually can communicate very well in writing, but then when you speak to them, you just don't understand what they're saying. Maybe they don't understand what you're saying, and so it becomes very, very difficult. I definitely do not like that, and I think companies shouldn't do that just to save costs. Philip, unable to disclose company due to lawsuit. Okay, we're not going to go there. David, hey, David, how are you? Hello from St. Pete. Lack of competition due to government intervention has hurt customer service in the airline industry. No kidding. And now, so I've watched over many, many years, I've watched the airline industry go from, what was it, the big 6, big 5, big 4 carriers, and now we're down to really just 3 legacy carriers plus Southwest. And it's a terrible thing. When there are these dominant carriers that operate out of these large hub fortresses where you just don't really have much of a choice, then you have to basically take what they're giving to you, and they know that. I have actually spoken with people at airlines, and they say, yeah, we know that our service is bad, but what are you going to do? We own Atlanta, or we own Dallas, and you're not going to do anything about it. You have no choice. If you want to fly somewhere, you have no choice but to fly on our airline. And they're very frank about that when I talk to them, as long as it's off the record. Once you pull out the notepad and start writing things down, they're very diplomatic, and they will not say that, they won't give you their honest opinion. So let's see here. We've got more. Wow, the chatters are really busy today. How's he? Ron, good to see you. Hey, Ron's outside of Boston. He says corporations recognize customer service as not being a profit center. Second, customer service jobs tend to be high stress. Also true. So you're saying basically then that companies are killing their own customer service by not giving their people enough resources to give good customer service. And I think that's absolutely correct. I have seen that in Boston right now. We're seeing that, unfortunately, with Vantage, where they have people they're trying to talk to them. They say they're trying to train people to do customer service, and those people are leaving after their training or before their training is complete, which is really, really terrible. Wow, we have a lot of people. We've got Ken in Gloucester, Massachusetts. I know that's not one name I use a lot. Gloucester, Massachusetts. Ken, nice to see you. Maureen says, I'm retired. I'm a retired flight attendant, and I talk to my friends still flying, and company does whatever they want to workers, which rolls over to no service on planes. Maureen, I don't suppose you want to tell me which airline you used to work for. That would be something that I'd be interested in knowing. You are completely correct that we've just talked about this, about companies not supporting customer service. Unfortunately, airlines are one of the worst when it comes to that. They try to cut costs wherever they can. And so they are definitely killing customer service. And we all can see that now. Christine says, many customer service people are very helpful and kind. That's true. I get most frustrated when I get a robot that says, press 1 if you want to return, press 2, press 3. They never get to the right option. That's absolutely true. Well, you know what you can do is you can always ask for an agent. I've done that before, or you could just hang up and call again. Then Ken says, Vantage Travel equals no service to not honest. Oh, we will get to Vantage Travel in a minute. Yes, completely true. Eric, I believe that during COVID, their companies know what they did not have to provide, and now after 3 years have adopted this practice as policy. Well, talk about hotels, for example, daily housekeeping and changing the linens. They got away with not doing it, and now they've continued not doing daily housekeeping. And they say that it's because of staffing issues, but I don't know if I believe them. I think it's actually because they're saving money. Another Facebook user here saying customer service has been hurt by outsourcing staff at lower pay rates, especially international carriers. Talking about airlines again. Yeah, totally. The one that I'm really worried about, though, is when they start outsourcing the maintenance, and then you get people who maybe are not as familiar with the aircraft or something like that. I mean, I don't know. Fortunately, we have not had any major accident, but maintenance is a big issue, and outsourcing it to another company, I don't know, makes me a little bit nervous. Eric says QR codes for restaurants. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't eat out that much, but when I do, I'd like to see a menu, or I would at least like to see a server coming by and asking me if I need anything. And now you have these QR codes where you don't even see a server. You just download an app, and then you do your order and you pay, and then someone will come by and bring the food to you. I experienced that when I was in Brisbane. That was really the first time I had seen something so fully automated, and it was not a good experience. The order was wrong. I think I pushed the wrong button, and they wouldn't fix it. They said, well, it's tough luck. You ordered something. It was something I couldn't eat. So anyway, that's just my own pet peeve. Eric also says also lack of employees returning to the jobs post-COVID. Absolutely true. Maureen says, I don't think that would be smart because I'm traveling in my retirement. Oh, you've got the benefits. Okay, yeah, no problem. Maureen, I was trying to get you to name the airline. That's okay, no worries. Philip says, another manager preferred to lose incoming calls in the phone matrices. You're doing a lawsuit. I'm not going there. Okay. Maintenance is a huge issue. Yes, completely. Let me do something really quickly here. I just realized that I had a, yeah, okay, good. All right. My audio was doing some weird stuff. Okay. All right. If you're just joining me, and if you're watching this live, our topic is what is killing customer service? What's killing it? I'd love to know your opinion. If you're watching this live, let me know where you are, and also let me know what you think is killing customer service. If you're not watching this live, if you're watching a replay, you can still leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. I will also drop by and answer your comments on Facebook, on LinkedIn, wherever. By the way, I am multi-streaming this event. That means that it's going out to a lot of platforms. You can see it on Twitter, on both my Twitter handles. You can see it on LinkedIn. You can see it on all 3 of my Facebook pages, and you can see it on YouTube. And just in case you're a little younger, you can also see it on Twitch. So if you see me on any of these platforms, it's okay. Leave a message or leave a chat, and I would love to talk to you. That's like half the fun of doing this, is that I actually get to see your comments and react to them in real time. It's so awesome. I love this technology. All right. So now let's go to some of the other comments that I had gotten from you, but I have something very special for you. It is actually an update on a situation that I mentioned earlier, the Taylor Swift problem. So we had a message from Brianna about 3 days ago, who said that she had booked a night. It was actually 2 or 3 nights at a Radisson hotel in Philadelphia. and she'd used her points for it because she and her husband were going to the Taylor Swift concert. And a few days before they were supposed to stay there, the Radisson contacted them and said, we're canceling your reservation. We can't accommodate you. This is highly unusual. Normally, what will happen is if a hotel can't accommodate you, they'll walk you to a different hotel. But in this case, they actually canceled her reservation. Terrible thing. I got in touch with Radisson. Actually, I got in touch with Choice Hotels. We went back and forth over the last couple of days. I am very happy to report that I heard from Brianna this morning. And drum roll, please. She heard from Radisson, and they are going to allow her to book a different hotel in Philadelphia, and they will cover the cost of her hotel. So good news, but I will have details on this story on Monday. I'm going to write a big article on this, what happened, what went wrong, and how you, if this happens to you, what you should do and how you can prevent it from happening to you as well. So please drop by on Monday morning and I'll have the full report. Kind of outrageous, and it involves Taylor Swift. So, we're going to have some Swifties checking it out. Got another comment here. Let's check out the comment. Maureen says, I've been with many airlines mergers, starting with 3 mergers. So yeah, that's not that unusual if you work in the airline industry too, is to have experienced more than one merger and then go through all the seniority and union things that you have to go through as a flight attendant. Do not envy you at all. Glad you made it all the way through, Maureen. That's awesome. Okay, let's go over here to the discussion that we had. And I'm going to see if I can just screen share with you here. All right. Love this. So I put out, as you can see, I put out a notice in today's newsletter and had this illustration of someone being pushed off an ice shoal. And maybe that's one reason why we had another series of comments. But Dave says, customer service is dead when the only option is a robotic chat feature. That is absolutely correct. And ChatGPT, I have something to say about ChatGPT, and I'll get to that in a sec. But if all you're offering is ChatGPT, like Frontier Airlines, for example, where they shut down their phone lines and now you have to talk to someone, to talk to a robot or talk to ChatGPT, and you might get through to a real agent if you're using chat. That is absolutely bad customer service. Do not like that at all. Let's see. I've got another. Oh yeah, I've got another one here I wanted to share with you. Let's see. Well, you know something? Yeah, great. All right, let's jump over here to. I'm just going to read you the comment because it looks like. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. So I'll just read this to you because it's kind of small. But I'm one of your subscribers, and I want to thank you for your newsletter. You're welcome. Most of the time, I agree with your take on things, and also envy your near constant travel. On the other hand, there are times and issues when I see things differently. I agree that travel customer service is not in a good place for some of us, and I see it more in company policy than in staff attitudes and actions. Well, we've already covered that, and I think we can all agree that it's really companies that are directing this, and that oftentimes the employees are the victims. Yeah, this comes from Wandel in Anchorage, Alaska. And so Wandel goes on to say, it's a complex issue, but I'm not comfortable with your general approach of solving this problem with more government regulation. For example, I hate Amtrak. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten to the solution part of this yet, but I think, this is one area maybe where we could agree to disagree. I think that the government does have a role to play. I don't think the government is the solution, but the government, for example, should not have greenlit all of these airline mergers that we have had in the last few years. Had they stopped and said, look, this is not good for competition, then we probably wouldn't have the situation we have right now, where we have 3 dominant legacy carriers plus Southwest together control 80% of the air travel market and are driving air travel prices higher, and also making, uh, well, essentially making the customer service experience the worst it's ever been. And so I don't think that the government can necessarily step in and fix anything right now, but it could have maybe not done all of the rubber stamping of the mergers that it did, because by doing that, it essentially squeezed competition out of the system. So we have another merger between JetBlue and Spirit that is being considered. And I think in this particular case, the government can say, even though it's a relatively small merger, I think government should say, let's not do any more mergers right now. We have, a good number of airlines. Maybe we need more airlines, but we definitely don't need to consolidate the airlines right now. I think that's not good. Um, Let's jump over though, because and I wanted to share my screen, but it's really the screen is really really small. We had someone who said that kids are to blame for the decline of customer service. Kids, okay, basically kids who don't understand customer service norms, and that kicked off a debate about socialism and. It went really off the rails, and I can't read it all because our moderators got to it. But okay, so I have two millennial, actually they're Gen Y kids. They're not millennials, and they do. I think that they have a pretty good understanding of customer service norms, but they don't always agree with everything that us older people feel, or how we feel about customer service. So there, you may, Bill, there may be something to this. But I don't know if kids are to blame. Some kids are to blame. I mean, I watched the videos of people on aircraft that are going kind of crazy and they're very disruptive. And I think that maybe they have a misunderstanding of what they should expect when they're on an aircraft. And that's not just true of air travel. That's happening in a lot of different places right now, where you're seeing disruptions and that's leading to altercations, possibly to violence. So we shouldn't discount the fact that kids feel maybe differently, that there's a generational gap between customer service expectations. But I'm not sure if I would go all the way to the point where I would say that that kids are the reason for the decline or the death even of customer service. Even though I did post an illustration of someone being pushed off an ice shell, an older guy. Well, he wasn't. I don't know. I didn't see his face, but he was like being pushed off an ice shell. Anyway, let's see if we can go over and look at some more comments because I've got some from you. Maureen is back. No, but then there's another three-way merger and the merger when I went set to retire. Okay, yes. It's complicated. It's very complicated. Yes. Well, you know what, Maureen, I'm glad that you're here because we need someone who understands the airline industry. I have not been in the airline industry for 38 years and I'm not retired yet. So I rely on people like you to be good sources and explain what really has happened, over the years in the airline industry and how it affects things right now. I'm really torn about this situation with customer service. And the reason why is that I've been hearing a lot about artificial intelligence and ChatGPT. Maybe you have too. And we're thinking to ourselves, maybe AI will in some way improve customer service. Maybe it will make it better. And so what I did yesterday was I went on to ChatGPT and I thought, well, let me see what ChatGPT can do when it comes to customer service. One of the most common questions that people have when they run into a problem with a company is, how do I reach someone at a higher level? So for example, say you're staying in an Airbnb and something goes wrong and you try to fix it and then and you can't, and they won't give you a refund. They won't even really respond to you in a meaningful way. How do you get someone at a higher level at Airbnb? So I went to ChatGPT to see if I could find out. So I said, here is the prompt that I used. And let me see if maybe I can actually share that up on the screen, because I think this is a really interesting. Where is that? Okay, here we go. Okay, so I said, I don't know if you can read that. What are the names and phone numbers of the customer service executives at Airbnb? Common question. Please cite your sources. I have an ulterior motive for asking. So then ChatGPT says, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I do not have access to real-time information such as the names and phone numbers of customer service executives at Airbnb. Moreover, it would be a violation of privacy to share personal information without consent. I never asked for personal information to be shared. I wanted the names and numbers of customer service executives at Airbnb. So ChatGPT is basically saying it doesn't have access to that information, which is not true. It does have access to that information. And even if it did have access to that information, it wouldn't share it because it's something that's private and that there are privacy laws that protect it. Well, I know that that is absolutely, completely incorrect. ChatGPT goes back to 2021. And back in 2021, on my website, on Elliott.org, I published the names, numbers, and email addresses of all the Airbnb executives. And the information on that page was derived from public sources. So it was not private. It was sometimes people will post their own phone numbers, or sometimes they'll post their own email addresses online. And when they do, that enters the public domain. You can't say that that's private information if you're offering it yourself. So all that information was available to ChatGPT, but ChatGPT is not giving it to you. And so that makes me wonder if ChatGPT or other AIs are refusing to give you this good information, then what does that mean for customer service? What happens, for example, when now everyone is using an AI to get information instead of Google or some search engine? How do you get the information that you need? Well, that's really troubling to me because Google recently had an algorithm change, and that means they changed the way that they search web pages. And some of the pages that I have online, some of these really important pages, would drop in rankings. They're still being crawled, still being indexed by Google, but they dropped in rankings. And so that makes it much more difficult for people to find what they're looking for. I'm really concerned that as more people use AI, that they're going to get answers like this. I'm sorry, but I can't help you. And that means that fewer people are going to be helped. Now, the other side of this equation is what happens when a company like Airbnb starts using ChatGPT instead of people to answer questions from customers? What happens when you can't reach a real person, but you can talk to an AI? And the AIs, as we've seen, are not that smart. They do, and they actually do know some of this information, but they're not disclosing it to you. I am deeply, deeply concerned about the rise of AI. I'm not in a way that makes me out to be a Luddite, because I do use AI for some things, and I think it's actually it's a useful tool. But I think that if we over rely on it, or if we unplug the people and just start using the AI, we're going to have a real problem. Anyway, I would love to know what you think about this. Please leave a comment. If you're watching live, you can leave a comment right now. Do you think AI is good? Do you think AI is killing customer service? If you're not watching live, if you're watching a replay of this amazing video, you can go ahead and leave a comment and I will answer you, because I go back there and I read the comments. So here we are again. Oh, Bob checking in. Bob, thank you very much for being on the live stream. Live streams are so much fun. All right. Well, we've got another one. My wife loves ChatGPT, from a Facebook user. Well, yeah, I mean, Facebook, look, ChatGPT is great. It actually lets you do very fast research. And sometimes you say, I need to write something. Can you write this up for me? It does, but you can't over rely on it. And as we have seen here, ChatGPT sometimes will give you an incorrect or an inaccurate answer to a question. And what happens when you really do need to contact an executive and you can't find someone because ChatGPT won't give you the information? That's something that I'm really, really concerned about. All right, so we solved some of the world's problems today. We got Brianne her hotel room for the Taylor Swift concert. And I promise you, it's going to be an amazing story. on Monday. I'm working on it right now, and it's going to have lots of information about how to avoid a situation like Brianne's. I'm going to do some research. But if you have any comments about how to avoid getting your points room canceled, the room that you booked with points canceled, please let me know, because I think that that's really at the core of the story that I'm writing. Is people are afraid that if they book their room with points, that somehow it will have a lesser value than if it's something that you book with your credit card or you're going to pay with cash, and that a hotel will just be able to cancel it with no repercussions at all, which is what happened to Brianne. So let me know what you think. You have my contact information, obviously. And so this weekend is going to be great because it is our food tour weekend here. The boys and I are going to go on a food tour of Christchurch, New Zealand, and we're going to take pictures, and I'm going to show you some of the pictures in the live stream because live streams are fun. Anything could happen. And I'll tell you all about what I think of Christchurch, New Zealand. It's starting to get a little bit brighter here, and I'm probably going to go out and take a walk in the park. Hey, I hope you have a really great day. I enjoyed being with you today. It's so much fun doing these live streams. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. And I'll do it again tomorrow. All right. Thanks a lot. Signing off for now. Bye.